Are we live? I think we're live.
Okay.
Okay, I'm weird.
I need my phone.
Except we're a little early.
That's good.
Is
Like
this
our
all
lighting?
early for anything?
Is this all?
Terrible. Is this all recorded?
It's recording right now, but it's not really officially start time wise.
Here, let me plug it in. Just pushing the button. Stop pushing the button.
This is why we start early, guys, so that we can work this out.
There is not great lights in here anyway.
You just like
that one will help.
maybe turn my flashlight on.
Is it really not? Is it okay? I think it's okay.
We have lighting.
Yes, just hold that right there the whole time.
Yes, you know, spotlight on you.
What time is it? This is weird. This is so weird.
I feel like we're so dark.
We are.
Well,
Please tell me you're actually watching this because it's even worse.
I actually have no idea.
This is why I thought we should maybe.
Yeah, but they need to tweet. Okay, it's 11:58, so
Dun dun dun.
so much.
are we broadcasting? Let me actually check. I'm gonna put my boobs in your face. Sorry, guys.
They are not complaining in the least.
No, it says. Oh yeah, no, we're live.
I
I'm gonna put my
didn't know
boobs in
how-
your face. Sorry,
No, I'm just making silly.
guys. Okay.
Getting comfy. Yeah.
Hey. Okay. So is it time? No, it's 11:58. At 11:59, we will start officially. We just don't want to be late.
Wait, do you think if we turn it and make it more this light, like just shift it that way a little bit? See how it's off center? It might pick this light up too.
I have no idea. You were asking the wrong person.
Well, she wants more light in frame, I think. Well, no, that did nothing. That's good.
Alrighty. You can't really see our food.
Oh yeah, it's kind of.
Yeah, why
We
literally,
literally,
I think that you're like, no, we have food.
we literally
Yeah,
brought it
guys.
as props. But it's okay. So I think it's 11:59. It is. It's 11:59. So we are officially starting. Hey guys, I'm Michelle Madow, and I'm here with Sophie Davis. There are two people, in case you're wondering. They co-write together.
I'm Hannah. That's Tabitha. But yeah, we write under Sophie Davis.
And we are here on a writer's retreat. We are on the west coast of Florida in Bradenton Beach, actually on an island. And we're at a cute little beach house. We can walk right to the beach. And we've just been hanging out, enjoying the sunshine and the bugs.
Getting too much sun. Way too much sun.
We all are burned and covered in bug bites. It literally looks like I have chicken pox. It looks good.
Good luck.
Good luck. So's your sunburn.
Thank you.
Yeah, but we've actually been getting work done, surprisingly.
We have.
First day of the retreat, we just hung out and talked, and like we were catching up and stuff. But then we started getting work done, and we've just been having a blast. So I think maybe we should start off with introducing ourselves, because I know that I've invited some of my people, and they've invited some of their people, and we want to make sure everyone knows who we are. So why don't Hannah and Tabitha start off by talking about themselves, how they met, and their books, and anything else they want to share.
Go for it.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm Tabitha, and Hannah and I met more years ago than we'll admit.
It makes us sound old.
In school, and we have been roommates, and since we met, pretty much, and now we write together, and we live in DC. Go for it.
We have a couple different series out. They're all young adult, but we have paranormal, romance, The Talented Saga. The 6th book is coming out next week.
Yay!
And then we just had the first book come out in a new series, the Time Waves series, and that's the Syndicate. And then we also have a mystery series and a mythology series that we're kind of putting on the back burner while we do the other two.
Do you want to talk a little bit more about each of your series? Just like one line about each of them.
I think Tabitha
Oh,
does.
no,
Okay.
Wow. I knew she was going to make me do that.
I don't know why I'm the only one with the face. We all had an agreement here. You all had to wear the face mask.
Well,
And
I
I
have two,
I don't know
so
what I'm gonna learn.
I only have 2, and then Hannah wanted the other one, and then she can wear it.
I have it.
Okay.
So cute.
Oh, I only have 2. So
Wait, but what
you
about the
guys?
pink one you're wearing?
It's on your
It's on your head.
It is. It's on your head. Anyway.
Let's hear about your books.
Okay, so the Talented Saga is
I need to check your
about, it starts off with a young girl who is trained to become an assassin in a dystopian future. And the story really spans a lot of years in her life. It's kind of hard to touch on all of that. But then the other one, the one that just came out, The Syndicate, it's basically time travel in the future is controlled by a mob type organization. And yeah, you can get anything you want from history simply by hiring this mob to go and steal it for you back in time. And then Michelle has lots of good books out.
You're switching the topic.
I am.
Why don't I can introduce myself before I start talking about my books.
Everybody knows you. This is
That's
Michelle Madow. Come on, everybody
That's
knows
not true.
Michelle Madow.
I'm Michelle Madow. I write young adult fiction. I grew up in Baltimore, and now I live in South Florida, and I wrote my first book when I was a junior in college, and I've been writing ever since. I love writing. I've been writing probably since I was in 2nd grade. I was always that kid in like class who would write these like long like journal entries every morning and then read them to everyone. So writing's always been a huge passion of mine, and I took an intro to creative writing class when I was a junior in college and shared the first chapter of my first book, and everyone was so enthusiastic. And I was actually really nervous before sharing that because I never share my writing to anyone, but after hearing all the great feedback, I decided that I might as well give this writing thing a try. And I wrote my first book by the end of my junior year, and that was actually my first published novel, which is called Remembrance. It's the first one of the Transcend Time saga, about a girl who's been reincarnated from 1815 England who doesn't realize it till she meets her soulmate from her past life, and he triggers memories to come back to her. And then following that series, I wrote The Secret Diamond Sisters, which is a contemporary glitzy young adult book for fans of Gossip Girl about 3 sisters who find out they're long-lost heiresses of a Las Vegas billionaire hotel owner, and he whisks them away to Las Vegas in a private jet, and they move into a glamorous hotel that their father owns, and they're thrown into a high life they never knew existed. And I think lots of things actually going on. And my recent series is called Elementals, and it's about a girl who moves to a new town and discovers that she is a witch and she's a descendant of gods. And when she and 4 others in her town start to develop mysterious powers over the elements, they find out that it's up to them to save the world from the Titans who are slowly coming back to Earth from the prison world they've been locked in for the past few thousands of years. So that's really fun. The 3rd book's coming out next month, and I'm so excited. It's a 5-book series, and it's just been a blast, right? I love getting back to my paranormal roots because I've always loved anything with like paranormal creatures in it. So Hannah's so involved in her phone right now.
I'm trying to pull up the questions you guys asked ahead of time. So I would be somewhat prepared for when we get to that section, because we're not the most organized of people. Between the 3 of us, we're pulling it together. But
Michelle's organized.
Sort of organized. I know I got a question here from someone earlier today where I promised that I would answer it, and I just need to find it. So let's see if I can find that. Where is it? I lost it. Oh, maybe it was on Facebook. That's the problem. But
okay. I have one that I pulled up, and I'm gonna let Tabitha answer it.
Lovely.
Beck Moore, who we love, she is one of our greatest followers. She's so interactive with us. She asked about Inescapable, our book coming out next week. Tab, this is the final book in the Talented Saga, and are you happy with how it turned out?
It will not be the final book in the Talented Saga. We will have one more, and that will actually be the last after Inescapable. And we are not sure when that one will come out, but it will not be too long. I don't know, I'm very pleased.
I'm very
I don't know, what do you
pleased with
think?
how this one came out. I think it's got a lot of really cool elements to this story that really come together in a very interesting way.
It's slightly different from the other books. Like Unforgettable, it's told from both Talia and Eric's point of view, but there is also a third point of view that will be all new in this book. It's not Kenley, for those of you who are
I think we
exiled.
should go ahead and give them an exclusive here. They're called The Privileged, and it is an entirely new segment of talented individuals who are unlike anything we've touched on before. They come from a very different place from anything we've touched on before. So I think it's a really cool story to tell. I know that's weird to say about your books, but I do. I mean, I think it's when I read what the stuff that Tab's written, I get really excited and I get really into it. So I think you guys are gonna like it a lot. We are so excited for that book.
I hope so. It's very exciting, and on one hand, exactly how I thought this book was going to go. On the other hand, not at all how I thought this book was going to go, if that makes any sense. I don't know, but I'm just very pleased with the way it turned out.
Well, I think that's actually something interesting to bring up is the difference in our writing processes between the way
We were actually just asked that question.
Yeah.
So,
I was gonna say it's an interesting
from our
conversation.
friend Anna, who we love, we love
Yes, we do.
her. She asks, what is your writing process like?
Yeah. Michelle, you can start with that, I think.
Well, it's really directed towards you, but.
Well, it's
She
I
says, for Sophie Davis.
Oh my gosh, okay. Well, I just think it's a very interesting contrast because, I mean, they call it like planners and pantsers. It's funny because I have not heard the pantsers phrase until a few months ago. But Tab and I kind of map out the story, pick up the major story points. We know what's going to happen in every book, but then we also just sort of get into the writing and let the story take us where it's going to go. It's very different from how Michelle does it.
Yes.
Like they were saying before, how I'm very organized, and the same goes with my writing process. I outline extensively before I write a book. I feel like the outline is where I pants. So what I did, I put all of my ideas into an outline just because I feel like it's more efficient that way. Because that way, if there are any issues going on with the story itself, I can work them out in the outline, and I'll change my outline then to make it the best it can be, and then I move on to focusing on drafting. And at that point, I already know the story is where it needs to be, and I can just focus on making my draft the absolute best writing-wise that I can make it. And then it works out great later on in the process because I find that I have less edits to make because I edit while I write. And
yeah, we definitely have like an extensive passing and back and forth editing process that we're very jealous that Michelle gets to do it fewer times.
But it's just been through trial and error. Like the first book that I wrote, I think I edited that one about 20 times. Like I was such a perfectionist.
Yeah.
And now just from practice, I've learned the mistakes that I'm more prone to make. For instance, in my first book, I had some serious inconsistencies with timing. I realized that the days weren't adding up and I wasn't addressing gaps in time. So now I know before I even start writing to use my iCalendar app, which is like the normal app that comes with your computer or with your phone, and I will plot out everything that happens according to the official timeline so that I don't have issues with timing in my draft, and it saves a huge amount of time. Yeah. So it saves a huge amount of time. So it's just with practice, basically, that you can learn how to make everything more efficient and write faster. I mean, as fans who have been following my series know I'm releasing Elementals every 2.5 to 3 months. And
amazing.
That's really amazing.
I'm really pushing myself with it. It's hard.
You're
Very
jealous.
I'm sure.
It's a lot of work, but it's incredible.
But they're also not the longest of books. I mean, you guys write like very long, in-depth books, whereas mine are a bit faster, like quicker, shorter reads. But I mean, it's just about just nailing on that process with practice. So, yeah.
Real quick, if you guys are watching this and you have questions for us, you can tweet with hashtag Midnight Snacks.
Yes,
Is that what
Midnight
we're
Snacks.
doing? Yeah, you bet. Clearly, I'm sitting here keeping up with Twitter, checking.
Oh, we got a good question, guys.
Okay.
Okay, so Elizabeth Hart, who, by the way, I love her. Hey, Elizabeth. So she's one of my street team members. And today she wrote this amazing blog post about the characters in my Secret Diamond Sister series, and it's about the couples, because at the end of the, I mean, kind of spoiler alert, not really, but everyone sort of ends up with someone, like, you know, that happens. So everyone ends up with like the person they're supposed to be with, who I decided they're supposed to be with. Maybe different opinions, I don't know. And so she kind of wrote ideas in her head about what their relationships would be like, and it was amazing because it was so just in tune of what I imagine their relationships were progressing as, and I could tell she really understood the characters, which was a compliment to me as an author, because it meant that I was able to get across who these people were in the story, and she was able to grasp their personalities enough from what I wrote to kind of see what their futures would be like together.
That is a really
And I love,
Yeah.
and I loved reading this post that you got. If you all follow my like Twitter or Facebook, you can see I actually reposted her post because I loved it so much. But anyway, so she asked, I'm gonna start like talking about how amazing she is. And so she asks, what is one genre you haven't written in that you want to write in?
I mean, I think for me, I would say, I enjoy reading horror, but I would never actually be able to write it because that gore and the stuff is the stuff I skip over. So I think that actually writing that would be really, really hard for me, but I love reading it. Like, I like a good, yeah, I mean, there are a lot of authors, obviously. The one just coming to mind is Jeff Glaze. I really like the horror aspect, but it's just not something I think that I'd be able to write.
Tabitha?
Oh, well, I would love to write an amazing thriller. But I just don't know that, I mean, we talk about it a lot and we even come up with ideas, but at the end of the day, I'm just too scared. That's not my thing. And like, I don't know, I wouldn't be able to pull it off with the cool twists and turns. And I really want people at the end of the book to be like, what? I did not see that coming. But then of course, when you read through the book again, you sell it the whole time. So that's what I would love to do.
That's where outlining comes in handy. So if you outline, then you can plan out all those twists and turns.
Michelle, what's your answer?
So mine is a genre that I haven't written yet is, I love vampires, guys. I mean, I loved them. I had loved vampires since I was about 12 years old. It was Amelia Atwater Rhodes wrote this book called In the Forest of Night. And when I was in 6th grade, our teacher had us sit in circle times, kind of like, I don't know, 6th graders don't really do circle time, but we did circle time.
That's old, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, so we did circle time. And she told us that this book was written by a 12-year-old, which was so exciting for us because we were all 12 at the time, because we were in 6th grade. And it was this vampire book. And she read it out loud to us. I guess it took a few days. It was kind of a short book. And that was when I fell in love with vampires. And I've been reading them ever since. I actually loved vampires before Twilight. So when Twilight came out, Amazon already knew that I was this mega vampire fan. So it was like, it recommended it specifically for me. So I read Twilight. Actually, I think I bought it like the month it came out. And then I read it about 2 months after that. I was on a beach for a winter vacation, and I read Twilight, and I was just entranced by it. And I've always wanted to write vampires, but I guess people were saying for a while that vampires were overdone, and everyone was saying, don't write vampires, no one wants to read any more vampires, blah, blah, blah.
But you want to write vampires.
I know.
You should.
And
People
and
still like them.
I am obsessed right now with reading the Shade of Vampire series by Bella Forrest.
We've been hearing about them all
they've been
week.
I
hearing
know,
about
now I have to go buy them.
I know, I'm very excited.
There's like about 40 of them in the series right now, so I've been basically reading them nonstop. And I just love them, and people are still reading vampires. And I feel like, people might say, oh, vampires are overdone, but, vampires can never be overdone. They're immortal.
Exactly.
That's true.
Wait, Michelle, we just got a great question for you.
Okay.
Can you sing some Hamilton? Also by Anna. At Anna Loves Blog.
Does she
She's
have
amazing. She's so funny.
Do you have a song request? Oh, there's water here. Do you have a song
I have
request?
her too. I think that she just wants to hear her favorite Hamilton song. But if you want, we can wait for her.
Because I'm trying to pick My favorite Hamilton song.
I don't know any, or I'd be happy to sing
So,
for you.
I mean, obviously there's the original. Alexander Hamilton, we are waiting in the wings for you. Never backed, never learned to take your time. Oh.
Woo!
Bravo!
I'm
That's like the main one.
I'm
I'm obsessed with Hamilton. It's just so hard to pick one. I'm not throwing away my shot. Oh wait, satisfied. Okay, hold on.
Yes.
So this is what it feels like to match with someone on your level. What the hell is the catch? It's the feeling of freedom of seeing the light. It's Ben Franklin with the heat and the kite. You see it, right? The conversation lasted 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. Everything we said in total agreement. Something, yeah.
Yay! Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Impressive.
That's me
Extremely
right.
impressive.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, the Hamilton stuff's done.
Okay, so we have another
Oh, wait.
question.
What?
Elizabeth Hart, what are some of your book OTPs, either from your book or any other series? I'm sure you guys know the OTP is original True Pairing.
One True Pairing.
One True Pairing. There we go. And hers are Place and Malik. Tab, what are yours?
No, I gotta think.
Okay, well, I'll
favorite
start. One of mine, will always be Suki and Eric Northman because I just love, I'm not gonna lie, I love them. In the books, though, before Alexander Skarsgård ever played Eric Northman, who just made it a million times better. Because I loved them together in the books. And I also love from Vampire Academy.
Rose and Dimitri.
Yeah, there you go, Rose and Dimitri.
That's probably my favorite.
And yeah.
Adrian though. Adrian.
No, I'm a Dimitri girl, and I will say,
Adrian, but
yeah,
it's hard.
Dimitri,
It's a hard choice.
it is. But I mean, that is one of the few book to movies that I truly fan over. I got so excited
It's
for the Vampire.
It's true. We went to go
movies.
see it, and then we bought it, and then we've actually watched it numerous
And
times.
I do. I watch it to fall asleep sometimes.
So good.
just
Why
for
am I
fun.
not waiting to watch this?
Like I love
Definitely.
yes,
Mm.
them. They're so
I thought
fun.
it is super cute.
Michelle, what are some of your
So my recent OTP would be Emma and Julian from Lady Midnight's. I think that was by far my favorite Shadowhunters book so far. Like I love Jason Clary. Oh my gosh, I love Jace. Like Jace is so hot. I don't know, he's hot. But Julian and Emma just had something truly magical about them. And I read that book and I was like, these guys are in love. And
That's so cute.
I mean, I heard from them for their situation, and I'm just really hoping it's okay. I'm worried. I'm really worried about them.
But now I'm worried about them.
And now I'm worried.
Well, if you guys don't know, they are parabatai.
They're
Oh, I
what?
figured
So they're
that.
parabatai. Do you know Shadowhunters? Well,
I tried watching the TV show on ABC Family. It was terrible. I liked the movie, but I have not read nearly as many books as I want to in terms of like my TBR versus what I need to read.
so parabatai are true fighting partners, and they pledge themselves to each other to fight together. But there's a rule that parabatai can never be romantically involved.
That's interesting
Yeah.
because we have two characters in our books who fight together, but they are romantically. Well, yeah, I'm thinking that Talia and Eric.
Can't be.
Yeah,
But there's a rule that parabatai cannot be, and in like
not in this house.
you find out why as you read this book.
Yeah, good job, Tab. I have X Flutter Champ.
I feel like always trying to be unobtrusive.
You failed. Ethically failed. Anyway.
Tomorrow there'll be more of us. It's Hamilton. I'm just trying to
No.
do Rosanna now.
I kind of assumed, yeah.
Tell the
Anna is
story
so
of tonight.
You actually really
to
singing my singing.
freedom.
The reason I'm so hoarse, Tab and I just spent the last 2 days in the car driving to Orlando to go to my nephew's graduation. And our version of singing is just belting at the top of your lungs, basically completely out of tune.
Yes,
Where-
in hopes that somebody driving by in another car
I'll
will.
be super impressed.
Exactly. Or
Yeah.
appalled, because I'm happy if they're appalled as well.
Michelle can actually sing, so that's terrible.
I was a little theater kid growing up.
Oh my god.
Actually,
I
I
still
told you I went to
sing.
summer, like summer stock. I was a dancer. for like 15 years, and I did acting, and I did singing, I did it all.
Michelle likes your attention. That's
No, I love,
just kidding.
honestly, I've loved Broadway my whole life. I love musicals. I love the music in them. I think that like Broadway musicals are just beautiful and amazing works of art. It's getting deep now.
That's okay.
I mean, I think they're truly impressive. I can
Yeah.
imagine how you can get those people to move in the right directions and stuff. Anything
That's impressive in and of itself.
Anything with choreography is
Yeah.
just dumbfounding to me.
I just love using music to tell a story. Especially like Phantom of the Opera. Those who read Diamond Sisters know that Courtney, one of the Diamond Sisters, loves Phantom, and that was obviously drawn from my own love of Phantom. There's pretty much a musical mentioned in most of my books, just because I love Broadway so much. I'm really excited for the Tony Awards coming up. I think next week, Hamilton better win like a record amount of Tonys.
I think it will.
It's been nominated for 16.
Yeah, it's got something
Oh my gosh.
amazing.
Anyway, I think I saw another question.
Oh, I found a good
Yeah.
one now. If you could Freaky Friday any of your characters, who would they be and why? That's a good one.
That is a good one.
That's also from at Bookish Liz blog, which obviously you guys should follow her because she's very
Yeah.
thoughtful.
Hit that
very
follow
interesting
button.
questions. Exactly. Tink.
This is very good. I'm like thinking.
I know. I think we're all having that.
Maybe Nicole, because I would really love to make out with Blake.
We would like to.
But also because, she's so powerful and she can heal anyone she wants to. She can't really get hurt because of that. And she has very good coordination. I think it would be interesting actually to like have a life in the day of someone who actually is like good at sports. Maybe I'll understand like maybe I'll understand why people like playing sports.
I don't get it either.
If I can experience what it's like to actually be good at them. But maybe actually Savannah Diamond probably, because I do love to sing, if you guys can't tell. But my voice isn't good enough to be like a professional singer. But Savannah's is. And I've always wished that when I sing that it sounded amazing.
It
But
sounds pretty.
it sounds
good.
amazing.
I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed.
So I would really love to just be able to sing and have it sound professional.
I mean, in my head, I sound just like the person on the video.
In the shower.
In my head, in the shower, that's how I sound. Other than that,
I mean, it's also like I think I can speak in accents, but would I actually try it out loud?
Speak a British accent. No.
I'm
Like Harry Potter.
I wanted to speak in a British accent the whole time. The first time we went to London, and Tab wouldn't let me. She was like, "Please don't do it. It's awful. Please don't."
I was in Steel Magnolias, and I was like,
Oh dear.
I'm doing your hair, and I see a hole in your hair right now. I gotta fix that up with some spray.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah, I can't do any of that. I don't know. I think I know how to make
Anyway,
myself sound different.
Which character would you want to be yours?
I mean, I'd want to be Stassi, but I think that's kind of the easy answer or the assumption. I don't know. Who would you want to be? You might want to be Stassi.
Obviously, but I mean,
Well, there you
that's,
go.
I'm most attached to her too, though.
And
so
I feel
think
like
that's
I'm
a lie.
more
Okay.
attached to Stassi at this point.
So which of your characters are you most similar to?
Stassi.
Yeah.
I'm more similar to Stassi. She's more similar to Talia.
Yeah.
I mean, Stassi's very adventurous, always looking for she's very open to embarking in this whole world of crazy traveling through time. And I mean, basically the reason the syndicate, the first time they visit 1920s Paris is because, I mean, regardless of seeing Midnight in Paris and understanding the whole broader message of the movie, I still would love to have lived back then, because I think it's a really incredible time with so much creativeness and so many people with so many smart ideas really coming together in one place.
But isn't that what our time is like right now? With indie publishing and
I'm
with
guessing you're going to
being
say
able
it's
to put
true.
all of our work out there, like we are living in a period where people are able to share creativity in a way they never have before.
In Austin, Texas, I'm guessing. Is that?
Well, I was talking about global.
She's trying to get us moved on.
No, I was talking about the global.
But yes, it
Like,
is
yeah.
very much that way. No, it just has more to do with some of the epic minds of the time. And the fashion, I'm very, very into fashion. I love it. And the clothing of the period is so gorgeous. I mean, a big piece of the research I did for the syndicate was getting old-fashioned magazines from the 20s, from France, and going through them. That's where we picked a lot of the clothing from the book, was directly from the fashion magazines that were out at the time. But, I mean, yeah, Tabitha is definitely more like Talia.
That's true.
She's
just angry.
Exactly. No, that is not. Tabitha's not angry.
Oh, I see.
She's, maybe
Talia is very angry all the time.
Yes,
She's very
Talia.
angry.
Yes.
Extremely stubborn.
Yeah, I think it's more the stubbornness of Talia that you really just embody. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm pretty stubborn.
I weirdly don't write any characters who are like me. I think it's because it's gonna sound silly, but I have this fear that I'm gonna write a character who's very similar to me, and then all my readers will hate them.
I mean,
that's really bad. But then it's like, it would be personal at that point.
That's so funny because I don't think that thought ever occurred to me till right
No, that never occurred to
horrified.
me. I mean, okay, we did set though a book in my hometown, sort of. We sort of disguised some of the names, but then made the mistake of naming a restaurant.
Wait, I like how you say we, and this isn't a we. This is Tab's hometown, people from her hometown and their names. This was a little Tab.
Well, we used one real name from the town of I thought a non-existent diner, but apparently it wasn't true. And then we got an email from somebody
What's
who
the diner
lives
called?
there. It's called the Fun Crazy Diner, and it's apparently still there, which my mom told me it wasn't. And then and then it made me feel very nervous about that people would think all the characters in the book were based on real people now and stuff, and that they would dislike them or think that they were all them. That was a concern I had, that everybody would then think they were one of the characters in the book.
Guys, my fingers are too fat for people.
I haven't done that since I was a child.
I have not
I think
either.
there's a reason, and that's because
They only fit on.
Well, don't put
little
those.
kids'
Now you're
fingers.
gonna lose
You know.
track which one fell on the floor.
I think it's not gonna.
Maybe I'm going to eat them off of her fingers.
I can eat it
Who
off
knows
the
what's
floor.
gonna
I'll survive. So it only fits on my pinky, but I never do this with people.
I think
I'm a witch.
you are so epically normal.
Anyway, okay.
That's
Oh, I
the
have a
extent of our
question, guys.
snacking.
Got a question for you guys.
Oh dear.
Okay. What do you think about instant love? And do you think there's instant love in your books? And this is for all of us.
I mean, Tabs, you can start.
Okay. I'm not totally opposed to instant love. I think that though there's a big difference between insta love and insta crushing.
Insta lust.
Insta lust, yeah.
All of these-
just try to avoid the lust one.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But I think that's a big difference, and I feel like that. Yes, we have a lot of insta lust in our books. I'll say that.
Yes, there's
I mean-
crushing, there's chemistry, there's insta lust, but I don't think we really have the insta.
Well, I mean, it wasn't the intention, at least, for them to fall instantly in love.
I genuinely don't think any of our characters really fall in love that quickly. They're teenagers, and so it's that sort of, being really into somebody and crushing on them and even wanting to make out with them. That's very different than being truly in love with them, I think. I don't know.
Oh, I agree.
I think so.
I mean, there have been many times when I just walk into a room and I see a guy, and I'm like, wow, I just really want to make out with you right now. I mean, it happens. And I think it's very normal and very relatable of a feeling. And I know that it's in my books. And for me, you asked about our book. So in Elementals, yes, Nicole sees Blake and she thinks he's hot, but they never think, she never says that she's in love with him. She never thinks that she's in love with him. She's just he's attractive.
Get to
So,
know him
I think
better.
in general, there's this
Maybe
huge misconception that if someone in a book thinks that there's an attractive guy, then it means that they're in love. And I personally don't take it that way, ever. I'm just okay, it's just very natural. You're at a point in your life where, or actually, this point's never ended for me.
Neither.
It's just life, You're just gonna find people attractive, and obviously love requires time.
Yeah, getting to know somebody
Yeah.
and really cultivating that relationship between the two of you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something far above and beyond chemistry, I think. It's not just that, it's, a lot more.
Chemistry and lust can be all consuming.
Yeah, absolutely. It might feel like love to you, but it's not really.
Right. Especially when you're
down
younger. I remember when I was a teen, like little crushes would just feel like the absolute end of the world.
Of
Mhm.
course.
Yeah, if you didn't return your affection or you liked another girl, it was the end of the world, and then you were over it.
Exactly. Then we're like, on to the next one. I'm going to move on now. And that's that.
But it is what it is, and I feel like lust is very realistic. And yes, it's still lessons in my books.
We have it in ours
Yeah.
too.
I mean,
And somebody brought up the Insta-Love thing. I think about in the syndicate with Stassi and Charles, and I really saw the two of them as a slow burn as they're just getting to know each other.
I thought they are probably our
The
slowest
slowest burn.
of our couples. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So it just, I guess, depends on how you're reading it, what mentality, and I mean, I guess what your experiences are and what maybe you've been through and you maybe
That's true.
more appreciate. Sort of, yes, wanting to just jump on somebody's face and make out with them versus thinking you were going to get married the next day and live happily ever after. It's a big difference.
Yeah, huge difference.
Yeah.
I don't think I could actually write a book where a character didn't lust after other people. Like, maybe this is getting too X-rated. No. I just feel like it's very normal emotions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's human emotions.
Yeah, and I feel like part of our job as writers is to be in touch with human emotions, and that's one of them. Like, I know if I have a crush, even now, like, you just think about that person a lot, and you're not in love with them.
no.
It's fun.
You think
Well,
about
I
it,
think
you
part of it-
wonder what's going on, if they like you.
Yeah. I mean, I think part of the fun is, wondering, like, when are they going to reach out to you? When are you going to get a text from them? It's all part of the fun of the experience. And you have so much time to move down that love road that, like, you should really enjoy that fun period of the unknown and going back and forth and before it gets too heavy. I think.
Exactly.
Real quick, Barbara Gordon, who is our PA, Barb tweeted, and she said, "My only question I want to know is ...
I mean,
sacrifice."
I knew she was going. I should
So,
know.
is
She's
this
never
to
going to
recap?
okay.
No, I was to say real quick to recap for Michelle's readers as well. We have a book out called Pawn that is the first in the See You in My Nightmares trilogy, which we really love. It's actually very similar to Elementals, which is funny.
In that it's Greek mythology.
Yeah,
That's
what I mean. That's what I mean. It's
That's
similar to Elementals.
Yeah.
But we put Pawn out, I think, in 2012?
2013.
2013. And unfortunately, there's always just another book that is sort of, we wanted to get right on, like the next book in the Talented Saga, the next book in our mystery series, the Blind Barriers trilogy. And to be totally blatantly honest, I think we've learned a lot purely by doing when it comes to the indie author world. And we have certainly come to the conclusion we should only be working on one series at once.
Yes, we should finish that series before we go into another one.
Mm-hmm. And so the biggest casualty of this learning experience has been The Sacrifice, book 2 in the Nightmares trilogy, which is the Pawn sequel. And it's not that we don't intend to write it.
Yes, well, I can say that actually the book that Sacrifice is well underway. What I can't tell you for sure is when we will release it. We're hoping, fingers crossed, that the last two will actually come out very close together.
Yeah, we're really hoping to sort of work on them in one big chunk, write the whole story, and then chop it.
Yes, those Sacrifice and Checkmate are planned and oddly outlined. Believe it or not, they are actually outlined.
I'm so proud of you.
We have our mystery series outlined too.
Yeah,
shockingly enough. A mystery,
Yes,
we
yes,
knew
mystery.
exactly what the end game was
Yeah,
when we
you have
started it. And that has been the one series we have stuck very true to an outline
Yeah, we
on.
planned all the clues and put them on an outline and stuff.
Yeah, because we wanted to make sure we were like really leaving that trail throughout all 3 books where you get to the end and you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't even realize how much of this I've been seeing. And then you want to go back and start back at book 1 to really appreciate all of that stuff. So yeah, we did outline that one. But no, in general, we're really bad about that.
Yes, but yes, Sacrifice Barb, I promise it is being written and it will be released. There's no doubt about that.
And you will
As
get a
we're
copy
checking.
before anybody
Yes,
else
you'll be
does.
the very first person to get a copy.
Because
I promise.
we love you. Obviously, this one is directed more towards Michelle, but Elizabeth Hart says, give each of your main characters a Taylor Swift song that best represents them.
Okay, this is tough. I actually saw this one. I've been
Real
sitting here
quick.
trying to think.
Real quick for our readers, give them a background on the Taylor Swift connection with your book.
Of course. So my first series, the Transcend Time Saga, starts with the book called Remembrance, and that book was inspired by Taylor Swift's Love Story music video. That music video came out that year, and I saw it, and I just loved it so much. And I called my best friend into my room, and I was like, when you watch this video, don't you just see this whole story about this girl who meets her soulmate and just remembers this entire past life they shared together?
Which is a great basis for
Yeah, and
for
she's
your
like,
grade.
no.
Not so much.
That's the
that
difference
way.
between writers and non-writers. I mean, I think that's
Yeah.
something we've really discussed on this last week,
Yeah.
spending time together.
Like
It's
they
you see somebody and you're like, you make up a whole life for them, a whole background, a whole story.
and they become that person.
Exactly.
And that's who they are to you. And it's
Right.
a little bit
Yeah.
disappointing when they're not really that person.
I don't even do it on purpose. So,
See,
like,
yeah,
when I
Michelle
talk to
first
them,
was like, that's weird.
I
But
didn't
she
say that
does
was weird. I was just like, oh, I guess I do it too. Like, I don't know. I just create stories for things. But my friend was like, you should write that. It sounds great. So Love Story obviously is the book that like relates to Lizzie in Transcend Time. It's a bit harder for some of my others. I think that Courtney Diamond is probably You Belong With Me by Taylor Swift. Just because she always kind of feels like she blends to the background, and she's such a smart girl, and she deserves, someone who's going to appreciate her for who she is. So she's that kind of smart, fun girl who's fun beneath the surface, but it's get her to open up. And for the other ones, yeah, I might need some time on this. I think this would make a really good blog post, actually.
Yeah, good blog
But
post.
I don't want to give answers prematurely because this is actually very serious.
This is
Yes.
very
This is, it's a very serious question.
I will say
That's
Tap
a
found
Excellent blog post.
Yeah.
the perfect theme song for Italian Eric from the Talented Saga. It's Superheroes by
The
The
script.
Script.
Yeah.
And if you guys haven't heard that song, just go Google it, look at the lyrics. That's Italian Eric. It's so good. But I definitely can't answer the question in terms of Taylor
Yeah.
Swift.
I can't really think. I mean, I would say for Talented, Picture to Burn.
Yes,
but that's
Picture to
before
Burn
she,
is
gets there.
so good. Yes, for the first Talented book, Town at the very beginning. It's so good.
Picture to Burn probably is Peyton.
But yeah, we'll have to maybe get back to you about that in general. But we do make, do you make playlists, like music playlists for your different books?
Depends on the book. So for Remembrance, I had a huge playlist. Diamond Sisters, I just had like fun Vegas-y songs. Elementals, no playlist. And for the thriller Parallel World one I wrote, I had like a handful of songs. I actually don't listen to music when I write. I can't. I need absolute silence. I need no distractions. Like, they even know when we were here for our writers' retreat, and like I had to write, I went into the other room and just had to sit here by myself because I can't even be outside because too much is happening around me. And I start looking around at everyone like, cars driving by or it's people walking, and I can't focus. So I need to be in a total, just not changing environments.
It's funny
With
because
silence.
Tabs and I are very used to working outside. Now we live in downtown DC. We like to sit outside and people watch. The funny thing is, like, somebody will walk by, Tab doesn't even notice, where I've made up their whole life story in my head, and then I tell Tab that, and I'm like, don't you think that's who they are? And she's like, I don't even know
care.
who you're talking about. I don't care. Move on. Focus on your work.
Like, hey, Mabel just walked by.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Mabel.
Yes,
Our
that's
friend Mabel.
several times a day.
Not Mabel. That's all I know about her.
It really might be. You don't know.
Okay, you're right.
I think it is. I think
With
you guys
her,
have
yeah.
I think it should be. But yeah, in general, cannot listen to music while I write. I listen to Mozart while I edit because it's very good, like mental stimulation. I like that stuff. Mozart for your mind. But we do make playlists, I think, afterwards with our characters. And it's more, instead of just sitting down and being like, okay, this is a playlist for it. It's more like we find the perfect song. When we're listening to music in general, and we just go back and add it to the playlist of the character or the book that it applies to. So it's kind of an ongoing process. It's not really a set thing.
Well, and for me, if I play the playlist while I'm working out, or even on the rare occasion I clean, then it gets me in the mood to write.
Cleaning is the worst.
I don't.
Adulting in general is the worst.
Awful.
Anything that is like an adult responsibility, no. Tab and I are terrible at it. And the funny thing is, last night we had this whole conversation, a big discussion about the three of us moving in together. Like, Tab and I have lived together for years and years now. So we have each other totally, we get each other, we live in a happy little bubble. And we were like, Michelle's the first person we could ever imagine inviting into that bubble and really living with us.
Oh, you guys are so sweet.
Well,
I feel like as writers, we get each other.
of course.
Yes.
And it makes such a difference.
It's amazing.
It's harder sometimes to relate to other lifestyles, and ours is so different.
Yeah, it's not normal.
When we go into an office, it doesn't mesh as well.
Well, I'm friends with, obviously I'm friends with tons of people who go into office, and they're awesome people, and I love them so much. I love hanging out with them, but it's different when you're living with someone.
Yes.
Because your schedules need to mesh.
Yes.
And my schedule doesn't really mesh a 9 to 5 schedule.
No.
I work more like 12 to 9.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's still the same amount of time. Or sometimes I work later. If I'm really into something, I'll work like 12 to 2 a.m. Yeah.
I used to do late.
By the way, there's a tweet that I want to read out loud because I really like it. Elizabeth Hart said, "Amen to the Insta-lust discussion."
Aww.
Perfectly said. I hate when people automatically assume that attraction equals love. And yeah, I think that's pretty much said that we all agree with you.
Yes.
Yeah, like people, you need to stop thinking that having a crush means that you're in love with someone. I just don't get it. It really, literally confuses me so much.
Not the same, I don't think.
So Elizabeth, Bookish Liz Flag, asked, which of your characters can you relate to most, / or have learned the most from? It's actually very interesting.
It's a very deep question.
I know, I'm kind of thinking this might might be one for a blog post once you have a little bit more time to consider.
I've learned the most from.
Well, let's start with which can you relate to most?
So,
and I think we started to touch on that for Tab and I. I relate to Sophie, she relates to Talia. Michelle, which of your main characters do you relate to most?
People are going to be very surprised when I say this, but for me, actually, it's probably Danielle from Elementals, and weirdly enough, Danielle and I have the same Myers-Briggs personality type for both INTJs, and because Elementals is told through Nicole's point of view, who is the new girl to school, it's all first person, her point of view, Danielle's kind of made out to be not very nice in the first book, because it's all from Nicole's point of view, and Nicole is a crush on a boyfriend, etc. But I found that I'm actually sort of reserved, especially in a big group of people, or in a school environment, like some of these people are. And sometimes people take that the wrong way. And Nicole does take Danielle's personality the wrong way. I mean, yes, Danielle does. I don't relate to Danielle practicing black magic, obviously. But
no?
No.
What were you doing last week on the balcony?
Or all of that.
I swear I saw a cattail and some black candles. I thought that's what you were.
But at first, Nicole just thinks that Danielle's this terrible person, and actually Danielle's just a bit quieter, but it's not something that people would expect from looking at her. And I feel like that's sort of something that I've struggled with my whole life in a way, because I am blonde and I like makeup and I like dressing cute and stuff, but I'm shy at the same time. And it's this idea of like people getting the wrong impression, like they assume something about it from your look that's wrong. And like I think I relate to that with Danielle. And as the series continues, Danielle opens up more to Nicole, and she actually becomes like a likable character. I've seen a lot of readers saying how much they really like her, and they like reading about her as it gets further on. She's very upfront with people, and she likes to discuss issues and just get things out in the open. And I'm more like her in that way, I think. And she also is very interested, like she's academic. She and Kate are the two most academic ones in elementals. But you don't learn that about Danielle until later, but she totally is. So yeah, that character development of hers was actually very interesting for me to delve into, only because from the point of view of someone who doesn't see her for who she is initially. What about you guys?
Well, yeah, I think we touched on who we relate to the most. As far as who I've learned the most from, I mean, can my answer be Tab? I until I think about what character we really have, I don't.
I have an answer.
Do you know yours? I mean,
Well, I think Lark and Raven
that's what I was-
has taught me a lot about a lot. I don't know how else to put it. I mean,
these are the two main characters from our Blind Barriers trilogy. It's our mystery trilogy. And the really interesting thing, I think, before we can get into the discussion, is this is the first series Tab and I have literally each taken a character and written all of their stuff.
Yes.
Normally we work together on everything. We really integrate things together, but this has been like, you know, Tab does Raven, I do Lark, and we go. And then we swap and we do all the editing. But okay, there's the background. You can go ahead.
I don't know. I mean, I can't really say too much, honestly. But
What you've learned most from that?
yeah, I don't know. So writing Lark and Raven and working with Lark and Raven, I don't know. I just feel like I've learned a lot about people and
Yes, I will give you that.
and how people interact
And how much can I think sort of along the same lines, I can see like how much is below the surface that you don't truly appreciate of people, and you don't know their stories, their plights, any of that. It's almost kind of
That's
very
exactly
much
what I was
related to
talking about.
exactly what you were just saying. You don't know their stories or plights, anything from surfaces, but so much is assumed. And I think
with both of them. I mean,
no, you're right. It is, and the two are polar opposites. But their stories have a lot of really interesting commonalities, I think.
Yeah, and I feel like so many of our, Talia specifically, I mean, people make assumptions about her, but they're not wrong. So,
I don't want to say Talia is surface, but compared to the other two, it's like what Talia thinks is what she says, and what she says is what she thinks. And Talia,
she does.
And she acts.
She's very proactive about anything. So, I don't think Lark and Raven you ever know.
Yeah.
Except from the fact that it's first person.
Right.
So, and even then though, it's not the same in touch with their feelings as Talia is.
No, that's a very good point.
Since we all actually write superpowers, actually, I had a random question that I thought that we could all answer.
Yeah, wait. Can I guess who it is?
Yeah.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
I think that you're a mind reader.
I can tell you right now. I want to be a teleporter because I hate traveling. I love seeing the world, and I want to go everywhere. But I hate the actual getting on a plane, going to the airport, going through security.
I love
sitting on a
I
plane.
love traveling.
Oh my god, it's the worst. I do it way too often, and it sucks. I just want to be there and enjoy it and not have to
There's something exciting about going to places.
I can
Getting to
see
the
that.
airports and feeling the
but,
energy of all the travelers around you.
I fly twice a month baseline without any sort of extra trips, fun trips, anything.
I love it.
And I just get so tired of it. I'm over it. But what would your superpower be? I want to teleport. There you go.
So I want to have the power of persuasion. Like if any of you are Vampire Diaries fans out in the viewership, the vampires in Vampire Diaries can basically look people in the eye and make them do anything they want.
Talia and Talented can do that too.
Yeah. This I have it on my Kindle and now I must read it.
She's extremely manipulative. Yeah.
She's a mind manipulator.
That's my favorite power ever.
Yeah.
It's just like it would be so useful.
Oh,
It definitely would be. I mean,
Tab, what's yours?
I don't know. I think I would. I don't know. I was gonna say I want to be invisible, be able to turn invisible. I guess I should say, but I don't really know.
You want to creep on people.
Yeah, you just want to be sketchy.
No,
like hiding in the corner. People's
Actually, I was
bedrooms.
more thinking I don't want people to talk to me.
Sketchy.
Okay.
Don't everyone talk to you. Say whatever.
I mean, I guess yeah, it would be fun to creep into, the honey with that we have a crush on down the street.
Yeah, while in the shower.
Exactly.
I don't know if it's maybe, sit in the living room when it comes out. That could be very fun.
Watch TV with him, but he doesn't know.
That is not creepy at all, Tab. Yeah. Not the least good.
I think you're moving from Insta-lust to Insta-stalk.
This seriously reminds me of that scene in Syndicate where they just she's like, keep an eye on mommy. And she's like, what, you just want to stare at her while she's
I
asleep?
love that. I was cracking up on that line.
Yeah, we were cracking up because we were writing all of that. That's how we talk to each other. So that's what you get.
Well then, okay, no, I don't want to be invisible.
Or you don't want to be sketchy?
No, I'd rather not be sketchy.
What would you want to do then?
Well, I told you I want to hide in plain sight. I want to see people walk down the street. Weirdos don't talk to me.
So what if you just repel people?
I think I do. I think that is my superpower.
But here's the problem. I attract them. The crazies always talk to me.
I know. Because
Then my power work for that too with persuasion. I just look at them and be like, don't talk to me.
exactly. Go
See,
away.
there you go. That's a good one.
Or resting bitch face works in that same manner.
Yes. I think that is why.
I think I do have, but honestly, I
Oh my
do.
god, I have
I have
people.
yeah, it's not good. People
My
are
friends
so.
actually in college, they told me, they were like, when you're sitting around, you just give the space. They're like, there's no way to describe it. They're like, you just look so angry all the time.
See, I was told in law school when somebody who was a little bit out there was speaking that everything I think reads on my face to the point where maybe I need to learn to veil it a little bit better and not show exactly what I'm thinking on my face. But yeah, it's either RBF or everything, you know.
We have another question from Amanda. Another one of my street team members. I love seeing my street team members
Yay.
pop it in because I feel like I'm like a bunch of you, especially the ones who are here, you've been on my street team since Transcend Time.
Oh, that's so
or at
sweet.
least since Diamond Sisters for a few years. So I feel like you guys, even though we have, I met a bunch of you, but even the ones I haven't met, I just feel like we know each other still, which is awesome. But anyway, Amanda, who was one of my original street team members, has asked what our favorite book so far is this year.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna be totally honest, between getting the Syndicate out and then, which was March 1st, and Inescapable Now, I don't know that I really read this year, which is tragic because I got into writing because I love to read.
How can you not read?
I don't have time. I have a lot. I know. It's I can either write or I can read, and this is something Tab and I have been discussing, and we've just, after the Inescapable release, really figured out a schedule that allows us time to read and get into things.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is we were going to post on our Instagram and Twitter and stuff right before we came down here to the beach, what some beach reads that people suggested were, and get, caught up on what's been going on. And yet, have we done a single bit of reading since we've been here?
That's different because we're here, we're talking. I mean, it's
Yeah,
true.
but that's how the two of us are always. We're always swapping ideas and things, and it's just, we need to set aside that time because I love to read and I hate missing out on everything that's happening. It makes me really jealous. We go on Bookstagram posting pictures and talking about books, but Tab listens to them, so she at least has a leg up on me.
Audiobooks. No, but I'm trying to think if I read or listened to anything that came out this year. I feel like I'm still catching
No,
up.
I mean,
on
what is your
something.
that you personally read this year? I don't think it has to be a big
Okay.
piece
Oh,
of
I
this
thought
year.
you meant just new
No,
books. Of
no, she
this
said,
actually.
What is your favorite book so far? Maybe it means this year, but let's
That's okay.
let's change it to what's your favorite book that you personally have read this year? Sorry, Amanda, if I was changing your life?
I don't know, what's yours? I'm trying to think, what have I read?
So I actually do read a lot.
She does.
Well, it's honestly 30 minutes to an hour every night before you go to bed. It adds up.
Yeah, but we had this conversation the other day, and it's that once I start a book and I get really into it, I have to finish it. Like one sitting, stay up all night, read all day. I'm not good at piecing and parceling it out. I want to know what happens.
I won't actually allow myself to read until I've gotten all my work done for the day.
Oh, see, I'm not that disciplined. I'm like, I started this amazing book last night, and I'll focus better on my work today if I go ahead and finish. Yeah, I'll just focus better once
I feel like it's a great incentive. If I'm loving a book that I'm reading, I tell myself, you cannot read that until you get your work done. So then I'm more like incentivized to get all my work done even faster because I need to know what's going to happen next.
Oh, see, the whole time then I just sit there and think about what happened next and what's going to happen and where it's going and what all the possibilities
what
are.
It means.
Yeah, and until then, I'm just writing a whole other book in my head, so I'm not good at that.
I feel like reading actually inspires me as I'm still not answering the question. I will answer your question, but I feel like I started writing because I love reading. I love stories and I love just all the possibility of stories that can be created. So reading in general, it inspires me to write my own stories. So when I read a great book that I love or just any fun book, it makes me more inspired to write my own books because I experience this joy that I get. Like, this sounds so corny, but no, I experience this joy that I get from reading the stories created by others, and it just makes me just more amped and pumped up to create stories for other people to enjoy. So if I stop reading, I stop wanting to write. And I don't know why. And reading also makes me feel more balanced in general. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty balanced. Not like I'm not, but like I feel like no. But I mean, I just feel like reading just makes me just, I don't know, just focus better and feel more on top of my life. You just learn a lot from being in the minds of other characters, and it's just very calming. And I get my energy from spending time alone. So like, I'm an introvert, so I love just that alone time spent reading, and I just take an energy that way. So that's my energizing period. But anyway, my favorite book this year, I know I'm rambling. I have been obsessed with the Shade of Vampire series. That's basically all I've read. I've also read The Syndicate. I love The Syndicate. I love time travel.
We didn't care to say that.
No, they did not.
I know it seems like we did, but we did.
I'm obsessed with time travel. So like, I see that they're releasing time travel, and I'm like, okay, well, I love them as people, and now they're releasing one of my favorite genres, so I must read this. So I love that, but I mean, Shade of Vampire has taken over 2016.
I'm trying to even think.
I got this Vampire with that. Shade of Vampire with that.
So you can just be done with it and move on.
That's the other thing. Like, I have to wait until a whole series is out, which is why, like, when I thought the question was about books that came out in 2016, I'm like, oh, I don't read. I can't do it till like the whole series is out. I enjoy it so much more that way than, I mean, I kind of, it's like I get really into things. You know this. I get really into things. And it becomes all consuming.
Jane the Virgin.
Like everything under the sun, like Jane the Virgin is like just the latest.
Yeah, it's been an hour. We don't want to make this too long, so Tabs, let's give your favorite book, and then we'll see if there are any closing questions.
Okay. Well, if you follow us on social media, you probably will know that there is really only one author besides ourselves that I ever talk about her books. So I'll have to go with Jordan Jones's last. I think it's 9th.
She loves her.
She's my absolute favorite. So if that book came out this year, I can't even remember that, because I do actually read those literally at midnight when they come out. And
you have one really good question. Sorry.
So yes, that would probably be my favorite book this year. But the other, I'm fairly sure actually did come out this year. The second Allie Carter's See How They Run series. Good. I enjoyed that one a lot too.
Okay, we just got a really fun question. I think it's perfect to end the hour with. And it's from Barb, our PI, who we love. Which of the Wonka kids do you think the other two are most like? And then she said, "Where are you guys Oompa Loompas?" I mean, of course I would have gone that time. But no, I think we should do the straight Wonka.
I haven't seen it recently enough to really.
Okay, well, I mean, Violet. I'm trying to think of the other ones. No, I'm like,
Oh, I already know who I think you are.
who?
Debbie, I want to go silly school Nick.
Oh my god, that sounded like me talking to my father this afternoon when he stopped by.
I want to end with a question I can actually answer.
I'm sure we have another way.
I don't know.
That is a funny question.
That's a
You're
really good
good.
question. I'm very excited. And yes, maybe I'll write a blog post about which child Tabitha is most like. Okay, you can pick the last one, Michelle.
I need to get on the hashtag. Give me a second here.
What is your favorite thing about being an author? What is your favorite book? We got that one.
This is going to be really late. My favorite thing about being an author, well, obviously I love to create stories for everyone, and I love knowing that other people are reading them and talking to fans and doing all of that. But I really like making my own schedule and owning my own business. I think that's my number one favorite thing because I'm not a 9-to-5er. I'm not a corporate person. I don't want to wake up at 6 a.m. every morning. I really like to sleep until I'm ready to wake up. It sounds really stupid, but I like making my own schedule. I've always been a night person. Like, I just remember in high school, when you had to wake up and be at school at 8:30, I was always exhausted because I'm such a natural night owl. Like, my parents always thought I had mono. I was literally that tired.
That is
All the times I was constantly
Not really, but-
fighting my natural
Night owl
rhythm.
tendencies.
Yeah, and it was a struggle. And every morning I just remember fighting with my alarm. I would set my alarm for an hour earlier because I had to press this snooze button so many times. And just the pain. I can still remember the pain of having to wake up so early. So being able to work on my natural rhythm is so important to me. And just being able to set my own schedule, being able to work from home. I love being able to work from home and not having to deal with like going into an office and having to make small talk with a bunch of people I don't really want to talk to. But the freedom of making my own schedule is fantastic. I actually work over most weekends, but this lets me, if I want to, take a few days to maybe come here to visit my friends or see my family, I can have a few days where I can do that in like a 5-day period of time because I do work over most weekends. So I can balance everything out that way. And I love that freedom. So I've always been more of an independent person. And what about you guys?
I was gonna say, my answer is, I think there are two main things. The first one is really cheesy, but it is the honest to God truth. And it's, I love hanging out with my best friend all the time. Like, we have so much fun together, even when we're working and we're plotting and we're layering the story and we're, doing character discussions. Okay, yes, creeping on our neighbors. But like in general, even when we're in full on work mode, need to get stuff done. I mean, we laugh so much, even over like the silliest little things that might not really be of consequence. And I mean, yeah, we get to hang out all the time and it's a lot of fun. And I feel very blessed that my job in life is really to get to hang out with my bestie and, create these amazing worlds and that people really want to read about them. I think that's kind of crazy. And then I think the other thing I really like, it kind of goes along with what you were saying, like setting your own schedule, but it really has to do with like the fact that you can work from anywhere. I mean, not only, yes, coming down here, Tab and I have been down here for a week now, and we've worked every day, we've been here, but we also
Except for Monday.
Except for Monday.
Yes,
When Michelle, like Michelle's
The
first
first day I
day
got
here. Yeah.
We spent the whole day
I
coming
was
up.
still
Yeah.
working because it's like we were discussing strategy and swapping information. And as crazy as it seems, that's work. And
We did
it's
actually
pretty
learn.
amazing.
We learned some really great things. I was like
Yeah.
sending
Yeah.
myself notes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
we shared
really
a lot of very great.
cool that we get to do that. And then, yeah, like I said, just really the ability to do it wherever that, I mean, Tab and I have been talking about, like, we've traveled a lot and we love traveling. We want to continue doing that. So being able to do that and go away for a month or two, but still be able to, get our stuff done. And then even, we've talked about maybe over to Europe for a year.
Well,
Like,
to Austin.
really to London.
Exactly.
She wants us to move to Austin. Whatever, it doesn't matter because our jobs are not tying us to a specific place. So yeah, it comes down to, and not just hanging out with Tab, but this one too.
Yay.
It's, yes, it is. It's really like getting to spend the time with my friends. It's incredible that, this is our work and it is. We're really lucky to get to do it.
You guys gave such good answers. I won't say
Sounds like,
no.
no, say it. You get to hold your poodle while you work.
That was not where I was going with that.
But it is a
That's a
perk.
good reason.
It is a perk because I'm very attached to my poodle.
That is okay.
I give the story of your poodle's name.
Her name is Fifi, and it's actually spelled PHI/PHI, but her full name is Princess Sophia Perignon Yoder, and she Genical, yes, of course. Last name,
Very
professional. Last name is Genical.
So normal.
But it's how you got your pen name.
Exactly, it's how we got our pen name. Was we used her name Sophie, and then it's my mom's maiden name is Davis, but we stole her name because Hannah loved it so much. That's why she named the poodle.
Yeah, I'm
Sophia
actually the
to
one
begin
who
with.
named her Tab. I mean, yes, really quick background. We're in law school. We go and get the poodle from this Amish farm. We bring her back. I know, so funny. Totally not.
Important.
Yeah, and that's where the Yoder came from. And then basically all of us, all of our friends who came over, everybody got to pick a name. And of course, because, well, I drove to get the poodle, I got to pick the first name, and I picked Sophia because I was like, it's the perfect French name.
I got to pick the first name. Her name was Princess.
Yes, I'm sorry. She's right. Her name, her time, we got to pick the first one, and it was Princess. But then I picked Sophia, and then we were like, oh, let's go with Sophie. But that still doesn't bring us to, what is your favorite
Yes.
being an author? Say it. Just say it, because I can see it. I can see it marinating
Don't
in
hold
there.
anything back, just be honest.
It's just
When I write them down, the voices leave my head.
What was that?
She said, I can go ahead and translate. She said, as long as, when I write them down, the voices leave my head.
Otherwise, all the characters are yelling through my head.
I mean, I think that is the perfect note to end this on. Guys, if you have voices and you want to leave your head, become a writer because it worked for this one. Maybe, kind of, sort of. I don't really know if it worked for her. But thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll do this again sometime.
When we're in Austin. Even if we're there, we're going to at least go there for a week.
Yes.
Yeah,
So a live from Austin.
But
Pajama
yes,
party.
thank you, Michelle, for putting all of this together. And
thank you for inviting me to this
oh my God.
beautiful beach house.
Of
I'll come
course.
stay with you for a week. This is amazing.
Real quick, if there are any other authors watching this and you're interested in having chats with your other author friends, yeah, use the hashtag
Yeah.
Midnight Snacks. We
Use
would
midnight snacks.
love to make this a thing where Midnight Snacks is all about authors sitting with each other and talking and discussing things and answering reader questions. We think it'd be really cool. So we'd love to make it a community thing. But okay, bye guys.
Bye. Now I need to figure out how to
Let's
turn
run
How to
this
turn it
off.
off.
And they all get to watch me while I figure it out.
They can watch
And
you.
You know, I think that the stop broadcast button seems pretty promising.
I swear.
Bye.
Moving on.